Hi and welcome. My name is Wayne Hussey and I will be your guide through this video. We're going to take a more in-depth look into iron speed, so let's begin. We will be using the job application demo that comes pre-installed with iron speed. If we take a look at the Application Explorer, we can see that iron speed has created all of our application pages. We have a .aspx page, and to the left is the UI of that page. We also have a code behind page, a .cs. Since I'm coding in C#, my code behind extension is .cs. If you were coding in Visual Basic, you would have a .vb extension here. Please note the three tabs above the code here. We have code documentation, which is more in-depth documentation about classes, page loads, that kind of stuff. Examples, and also a tutorials tab. Inside our code behind there are two sections. Section 1, where it's telling us to place our customization code here, is where we would place all our code customizations. Iron Speed does not overwrite our code customizations that are in Section 1. However, in Section 2, where it's telling us do not modify this section, any code changes inside of this section will be overwritten the next time iron speed is rebuilt. Now let's go back to our .aspx page for a moment. As you can see, there are panel controls, and on the panel controls we have three tabs. Configure, the Configure tab, which will allow us to configure the actual control. The Docs or Documents tab, which allows us to view the code of the control. The Code tab, as it relates to the code. The Preview tab. This tab allows you to look at how the page may look like without the design elements. The HTML tab shows the HTML code of the page. The .aspx tab, please note that there's a yellow lock over here on the right hand side. That's telling us that this page is read-only. We cannot make any changes to this page within iron speed. Any changes that need to be done that need to go into the SPX will need to be put into the .html file. The HTML file here. Place your HTML in here and iron speed will dynamically build it into the ASPX page. Please note that if you use Notepad or Visual Studio within this .aspx page, it'll be overwritten the next time iron speed regenerates the application. It is never a good idea to change any of the code here. Let's go back to the design view. And in this view, you can see that there are many table controls and record controls on this page. We will go into more detail on these in a later video. Now let's take a look at the toolbox. If you don't see a toolbox tab over on your left hand side here, it's very easy to get. Just go to View, Toolbox, and the tab shows here. If you click on the pin, it'll keep that toolbox open, and whenever you want to move it back over to the side so that you have more room to work, you can always just click the pin. As you can see, the toolbox, we have many controls to choose from. There are many different types of controls. Active reports, we will go through active reports control in more detail in a later video. Controls. In the Controls tab, we can see a vast amount of controls at our fingertips. Some of these controls may have as many as 3 different types of controls for the same control. An example, checkbox, checkbox ASPX, images, image data bound, image button data bound. There are many controls to choose from. The best way to understand what each of these controls can do, I would suggest playing around with them so you know when to use the different types of controls. The best way to learn is to just use them and drag them onto your pages and work with them. The more you get familiar with the controls and what they can do, the easier it'll be to work with. All of the ASPX controls expose all the properties that you would expect in Visual Studio. If you happen to find a control that you need and it isn't available here, you can always add your own from within Visual Studio. We will demonstrate that in another video also. Crystal reports, data display, show and search record, select and show record, show records, show table scrolling, a new feature within IronSpeed, table inside of a table. Data entry, where you can add records, edit tables. Header and footer controls. Infragistics, third-party controls. Web charts, database driven. Web chart column, web chart pie. Many to choose from. Menu panel, horizontal menus, vertical menus. Reporting, web reports new to IronSpeed. The web report is a read-only report, kind of like a view-only report that you can provide to users where there's no add, delete, edit type functionality, so no one can do anything to the page. It's just view-only or a print-friendly version. Search and filter controls. Tabs, new feature within IronSpeed. Another third-party controls from Telerex. Workflow, new to IronSpeed, the search and edit record, select and edit record. Very powerful filtering controls. And this concludes this video presentation. Thank you.